The skeleton is a part of the body that forms the supporting structure of an organism. There are several different skeletal types: the exoskeleton, which is the stable outer shell of an organism, and the endoskeleton, which forms the support structure inside the body, and the hydroskeleton and the cytoskeleton. There are two major types of skeletons: solid and fluid. Solid skeletons can be internal, called an endoskeleton, or external, called an exoskeleton, and may be further classified as a pliant, elastic, or movable, or rigid, or hard, or non-movable. Fluid skeletons are always internal. Exoskeletons are external and are found in many invertebrates. They close and protect the soft tissues and organs of a body. Some kinds of exoskeletons undergo periodic molting as the animal grows, as in the case with many arthropods, including insects and crustaceans. The exoskeleton of insects is not only a form of protection, but also serves as a surface for muscle attachment, as well as a watertight protection against drying, and as a sense of organ to interact with the environment. The shell of mollusk also performs the same functions, except that in most cases it does not contain sense organs. An external skeleton can be quite heavy in relation to the overall mass of the animal, so on land, organisms that have an exoskeleton are most relatively small. However, larger aquatic animals can support an exoskeleton because of the weight is less of consideration underwater. The southern giant clam, a species of extremely large saltwater clam in the Pacific Ocean, has a shell that is massive in both size and weight. Syrinx aranus is a species of sea snail with a very large shell as well. The endoskeleton is an internal support structure of an animal composed of mineralized tissue and is typical of vertebrae. Endoskeletons vary in complexity from functioning purely for support, as in the case of sponges, or serving as an attachment site for muscles and mechanisms for transmitting muscular forces. A true endoskeleton is derived from the mesodermal tissue. Such a skeleton is present in echinoderms and chordates. Pliant skeletons are capable of movement. Thus, when stress is applied to the skeletal structure, it deforms and then reverts back to its original shape. The skeletal structure is used in some invertebrates, for instance, in the hinge of the bivalve shells or mesoglea of cynodrians, such as jellyfish. Pliant skeletons are beneficial because only muscle contractions are needed to bend the skeleton. Upon muscle relaxation, the skeleton will turn to its original shape. Cartilage is one material that a pliant skeleton may be composed of, but most pliant skeletons are formed from a mixture of proteins, polysaccharides, and water. For additional structure or protection, pliant skeletons may be supported by rigid skeletons. Organisms that have pliant skeletons typically live in water, which supports body structure in the absence of a rigid skeleton. Rigid skeletons are not capable of movement when stretched, creating a strong support system most common in terrestrial animals. Such a skeleton type used by animals that live in water are more for protection, such as barnacle and snail shells, or for fast-moving animals that require additional support of musculature needed for swimming through water. Rigid skeletons are formed from materials including chitin in arthropods, calcium compounds such as calcium carbonate in stony corals and mollusks, and cisalate for diatoms and radiolirins. The cytoskeleton is used to stabilize and preserve a form of cells. It is a dynamic structure that maintains cell shape, protects the cell, enables cellular motion using cells such as flagella, cia, and lamellifio, and plays important roles in both intercellular transport, the movement of vesicles and organelles, for example, and cellular division. A hydrostatic skeleton is a semi-rigid, soft tissue structure filled with liquid under pressure, surrounded by muscles. Longitudinal and circular muscles around their body sectors allow movement by alternating lengths and contractions along their lengths. A common example of this is the earthworm. The endoskeletons and echinoderms of some other soft bodies and vertebrates, such as jellyfish and earthworms, are also teamed hydrostatic. A body cavity in the colon is filled with colon fluid, and the pressure from this fluid acts together with surrounding muscles to change the organism's shape and produce movement. Bones are rigid organs that form part of the endoskeleton of vertebrates. They function to move, support, and protect the various organs of the body, produce red and white blood cells, and store materials. Bone tissue is a type of dense connective tissue. Bones have a variety of shapes with a complex internal and external structure. They are also lightweight, yet strong and hard. One of those types of tissue that makes up bone tissue is mineralized tissue, and this gives off a rigidity and honeycomb-like three-dimensional internal structure. Other types of tissue found on the bone include marrow, endostrium, periosteum, nerves, blood vessels, and cartilage. There are 206 bones in the adult human body and 270 in an infant. I hope you enjoyed that spooky stuff. Coming next week. Boo!